Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our council meeting, February 10th, 2026, as we roll through the Frosty Festival and other great events here in the city of Mount Pearl. We do have to take a night off, council, and do a little bit of work. Thank you for staff for attending, and big kudos out to Public Works and all of the people in our Public Works and the Recreation and Community Safety Departments and the like who have helped with snow clearing in the last few days. I see you've made great progress, Director Delamont, so thanks for that. We'll begin the meeting by adopting the agenda, which you see before you, and I'll take a motion, please, to move the agenda. Moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Lane. Thank you. And let's vote on that. All in favor? Those opposed? And that's carried as well. In recognition of the City of Mount Pearl's commitment to foster respectful and collaborative relationships with Indigenous peoples here in the City of Mount Pearl and beyond, we hereby acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Beothuk and the Mi'kmaq. Mount Pearl and the broader metro region continues to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. Minutes for the previous meeting are there as well, council, for review. Before any business arising, please advise of any errors or omissions. Hearing none, we need to adopt those, and on a motion of, thank you, Councillor Locke, seconded by Councillor Antle. They have moved the adoption of the minutes. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Thank you. Carried. Any business arising, folks? Moving along really quick here tonight. Nothing from the action report either, folks. Okay, let's move on in our meeting. I'm happy to welcome Trevor Freeborn, who's a representative of 211 United Way. And we have a proclamation here, which we'll read first. Then we'll get Trevor up to join us for the council meeting to talk about 211. And it's all about increasing awareness of 211 in Newfoundland and Labrador, and the National Day is February 11th. And whereas February 11th is proclaimed as 211 Day in Newfoundland and Labrador, and whereas the main goal of 211 is to connect people in our province with help when they need it most. 211 is Canada's primary source of information and referral for government and community-based programs and other social services. It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is free and confidential, and can accommodate over 150 different languages. Wow. It can also connect people to clinical programs and services upon request through life transfers. All calls are answered by trained and certified service navigators who are ready to listen, assess, provide service navigation, and referrals if needed. And whereas 211 will be organizing building illuminations, including Mount Pearl City Hall, and are inviting mayors and councillors of municipalities in Newfoundland and Labrador to proclaim the 11th of February as 211 Day, distributing 211 promotional materials and offering information sessions both in person and virtually to raise awareness of the 211 service, which applies not just to our province, but if you think about it, community by community, it includes Mount Pearl and the greater region we live in. Whereas these activities will raise awareness of the 211 information and referral service, and that it can be accessed by anyone living here in our province by phone, website, or chat. Therefore, I, the Mayor of Mount Pearl, on behalf of my colleagues on council, we do hereby proclaim February the 11th as 211 Day here in the city of Mount Pearl. And I will sign that. We'll do a picture at the end. But first, I'd like to invite Trevor Freeborn to come up. And Trevor, if you wouldn't mind, for just a few quick comments about 211 and what we can do. You have everybody in the room that you need. We have marketing people, we have technical people, we have
Wonderful.
Community leaders. So thanks for coming in. And what would you like to say about 211 Day?
I'd just like to say thank you to the City of Mount Pearl for participating. We have a record number, 20 different municipalities across the province participating this year and signing proclamations and illuminating their landmarks. 211 is really the front door to help in this province. So oftentimes when people reach out to us, They don't know exactly what supports they're looking for. They just know they have a challenge or they need help with something. And we can connect them to the largest database of community and social and government services in the province and the country. And 40% of our callers these days are looking for food. So a lot of people experiencing food insecurity. So we try to connect them with food banks, community pantries, Meals on Wheels, housing supports, income support, health services, the whole gamut essentially. And it's underutilized right now in the province, but through efforts like this and the participation of Mount Pearl and other municipalities across the province, hopefully we can change that. So thank you very much.
No, thank you, Trevor. I think our deputy mayor would like to make a comment.
Oh, right here.
Thank you,
You have
Worship.
it.
No,
Yeah.
I've got my own microphone, so which is great. I just wanted to thank you for coming in. I think the service and even how the concept of 211, how it works, is incredibly important. I remember it was just maybe a decade ago where it was just an idea of we have all these organizations doing such work, and nobody really needs to know how to access them. There's also people who are have complex needs, have a lot of issues, or want help, and felt as though everything was a silo. You go one place, you go one place, one place. This is a great way of being holistic. So I am a strong believer in 211. My question to you is, as a municipality, what would you feel? How can we best support this free service? This absolutely will be a benefit to all of our residents. It could be a benefit to everyone in this room.
Yep.
Like, what can we as a municipality help support you in ensuring our residents are informed and our city are aware of the number? What's your advice to us?
Whenever you have like activities or municipal buildings, that kind of thing, you can share the postcards and posters that we have. I dropped off some here, I think, a few months ago with the front desk, and I can certainly bring back some more. But embedding it in your websites and that kind of thing, and any communications that you have, you can put our website, nl.211.ca there. And we can also chat outside of the chamber here and brainstorm some ideas, but I'd be happy to do that.
That'd be fabulous. Thank you so much. And yeah, open to collaboration. I think this is a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Trevor, for coming in. I'm curious, actually. I know United Way, Newfoundland Labrador is sponsored by, but funding, do you get federal funding or provincial funding, or is it volunteer based? Which way does it work?
Well, we originally got our funding from the federal government back in 2020, I think largely in response to the pandemic. But now we receive our funding from the provincial government. And so we're working on some new initiatives with them, like a new child and youth healthcare model. And so they're utilizing our services more and more. And I think the more that we use this service, the better it will become, and the more our navigators learn about the service and the more that the general public learns about the service and updates our database with supports and services that weren't already aware of, I think will only make the service more engaging and more helpful in the future.
Thanks for coming in, Trevor.
It's my pleasure.
I'm assuming the color for City Hall will be red?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that in the logo here. And
Absolutely.
we have the right people in the room to make sure that gets happen. And
Excellent.
if you would oblige us, we can do some a snap right now for social.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, thanks.
absolutely. That'd be great. There you go.
All right. I really have to admit on the next proclamation, if you want to have a long conversation around this table, you bring in the kids. So I would like to welcome some of the Girl Guides for, I think we're going to call it Guide Scout Week, seeing that you ladies have shown up tonight. Two families. We've got Marianne Hounsel, and your daughters are Emily and Diana. Hi, guys. Good to see you. And Nicole Stamp is here, not your first visit to City Hall. And we have, I believe, I can't remember their names, Olivia, I believe, and Stella, right? So you all want to come up? And we'll go from there? Oh, I've got my notes. But thank you. Hey, guys. Love the t-shirts. We should have council t-shirts, guys. What do you think? Eh? Okay, are you ready? Come a little closer if you wish. Yeah. You're not going to believe this, though. This also celebrating the 100th anniversary of World Thinking Day as well. So it's a century in the making and is related to Scout Guide Week being a time-honored tradition that celebrates the contributions of scouts and guides, or guides and scouts, in our community and highlights the values of service, leadership, and environmental stewardship that these programs instill in youth. And I must say, inspires all of us. Whereas Scout Week, Guide Scout Week commemorates the shared birthdays of Lord Baden-Powell, the founder of Scouting, and Lady Olave Baden-Powell, the World Chief Guide, who together inspired the global movement that continues to thrive today. And whereas on February 22nd, 2026, the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts will be celebrating the 100th anniversary of World Thinking Day and celebrating a century of global friendship, connection, and empowerment to over, you ready for this? 11 million Girl Guides and Girl Scouts across 153 countries. This year, the Marconi District Girl Guides celebrate its 65th anniversary of guiding right here in the city of Mount Pearl. And the city of Mount Pearl, we recognize the significant contributions of scouting and guiding organizations to the development of all the young people in our community. And whereas scouts and guides provide opportunities for personal growth, leadership, outdoor education, and community service to youth of all ages, backgrounds, and abilities, therefore, I, the Mayor of Mount Pearl, we do by proclaim, together with my council colleagues, of course, we proclaim February 15th to the 22nd, which is next week, to be Guide Scout Week here in the city of Mount Pearl. It's a time to celebrate the enduring legacy of these programs and their positive impact on individuals and the community as a whole. Yay! So I'd ask my council colleagues if they'd like to chime in on that, because I know as community leaders, we're very active in what's going on here in the city of Mount Pearl. And I think we'll get a bit of a conversation going. I'm going to start with Councillor Fry.
Thank you. I am so happy to see you guys in here today. I see these girls everywhere around the community. I see them at coat checks. I see them on their lawns doing flips and all kinds of stuff. And canteens. And I even saw them here in council chambers. And I actually believe that, Diana, which seat did you sit in when you were here? I think it was. Do you remember what it is you debated, what the issue was? No, I think it wasn't it ice cream, whether we should have chocolate or vanilla or strawberry ice cream at the Frosty Festival? Yeah. Listen, we're so delighted to have you guys here. I mean, 65 years in Mount Pearl and 100 years of World Thinking Day. I mean, that's amazing. And I can tell you, I was a Girl Guide. I was a Brownie and a Girl Guide and a Pathfinder. And it was one of the best things that I've ever done. And there's still to this day so many things that I remember from Girl Guide. I remember the promise. I remember to always be prepared. So what you guys are doing is really, really important. And I love seeing around the community. And I hope that you have fun because if I remember correctly, and somebody can tell me, is it one of the biggest things about Girl Guides is friendship? That's what I thought. So what do you like best about Girl Guides?
Um, yeah, I like hanging out with my friends and my sister and Girl Guides.
Counselor Lane.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I had the pleasure of knowing some of these beautiful Girl Guides here, but I think be remiss without mentioning the leaders, because oftentimes the leaders are the moms of the group, right? And it's a big responsibility to take on. And a lot of planning and work goes into it, and I'm sure it's also very rewarding. But thank you guys for stepping up to be leaders, because without the leaders, there wouldn't be a Girl Guides group. And you guys are truly amazing for being in here. And I just think the value and the morals and lessons that come from being in Girl Guides is so valuable. And that's why Girl Guides is, still around for such a long time, because it's so good for our youth to be a part of it. So thank you guys so much for being in.
Thank you, Counselor. Over to you, Deputy Mayor.
Well, I gotta say everything that's been said, I totally agree with because you guys are incredibly an amazing group. Guys has done so much even in my life. And let me tell you, I came in here and I went over and I didn't know really any of you. And I was like, okay, well, I have to say hello and stuff like that. And the first thing you guys were doing, like, oh, I really like your glasses and I really like your shirt. And it made me feel really, really good. And it just shows that as guides, you lift people up all the time. And I just want to say I really appreciate everything you guys do. And the friendship part, like our Counselor Fry had said, I think is super important. And, I'm wondering too, this is such a really important kind of traits that we want to see in our leaders. Is anybody interested in maybe doing some of the work that we're doing around the table at one point? Thinking about it? Maybe mayor or deputy mayor? Counselor? Have a think about it because I'm telling you, I think some of the things that you guys do by being kind and lifting other people up and asking questions and getting together and being committed to what you do are great things for a counselor. Really great things. So something to think about. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor. I want to know one thing, Nicole. Where are the cookies?
They're on their way. They'll be here any day. We'll be
Cookies?
back. They come in March, I think.
Mark.
Yeah.
You can count on 7 sales here. 7 sales here tonight, right? For sure, right? Go ahead, Counselor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor, and welcome to the chamber. So happy to see you guys. I was going to say as well, I like the Girl Guide cookies, but my favorite aren't the mints. Mine are the chocolate and the vanilla. They're the ones coming this time around, so you can put me down for a couple of boxes. I have a question on the proclamation, though. I don't know if anyone can answer it. Can you give us some background on what World Thinking Day is? 100th anniversary of World Thinking Day. I'm curious as to what that is.
So World Thinking Day was established 100 years ago. The leader of the Scouts and the founder of the Scouts, Lord Baden-Powell, met his wife, and they happened to have the same birthday, Olave Baden-Powell. She didn't start Girl Guides, but she was instrumental in growing Girl Guides around the world, and she was declared our chief guider. I can't remember the year. So 100 years ago, we recognized the importance of the scouting and guiding movement in the world, and brought through Thinking Day, thinking it was very apropos to do it on their birthday. And it's a day where we reflect on the role of guiding, scouting, of being prepared and being kind and being a friend and helping our communities and making a difference. Yeah.
Okay, so as we go to wrap up, I think Councillor Fry has a question for all of you.
Speaking of World Thinking Day, you guys have anything special planned for this year on the 100th anniversary?
We do.
Wait, sorry, please.
We do. We were hoping to have a community food drive on the 22nd. Unfortunately, with the snowbanks, we feel it's safer to postpone that to the spring. So as a district, we will be getting together and going door to door to collect food. However, it's definitely with little ones running in and out of snowbanks and visibility, even though snow clearing is absolutely fabulous, we want to be as safe as possible. But we are going to have a campfire on the 22nd on Sunday night. Yes. And we're inviting our community members to come join us. So anyone who's been touched by scouting and guiding, we're going to use St. David's Field, if you're okay with that, because that's a nice large outdoor area. We're not actually going to have a campfire. We have a homemade campfire we're going to use to.
That's horse.
We may have s'mores. We may have s'mores. Yes.
Guys, thanks for coming in. You are amazing. Well done. We'd like to light up City Hall. What color? Blue, as in this color here, the light or the dark?
Yeah.
The dark, got that, Director Bat or whoever's in charge of colors? Let's do a bit of marketing on your behalf. Let's take a picture for our social media, if that's okay, or is it all right for everybody? We want you guys in the front row. All right, thank you, everybody. Now, returning to the agenda, we're going to start next with the corporate services. And Councillor Antle, when we're ready, just give a second. All good? All right, welcome back. Okay, Councillor Antle with corporate services.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have a few there on my agenda or on our agenda, and I'll start with the first one is invoices for council approval. It's for February the 10th, 2026. You see them in your kit there for a total of $343,088.12. And you can look for the incidentals in your kit there, and good to see we're paying our bills. And
The biggest one there is for water consumption for December of 2025 for 214,657.06. And I recommend approving these total invoices for 343,088.12, and I so move.
Thank you. Moved by Counselor Antle, second by Counselor Locke. Any questions? I'll call the question then. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Thank you. That's carried.
I'm just loading up here. The next one is our payment register. You can see them in your kit. This is for your information only for a total of 1,048,645.28. And that's only for your information only. Is there any questions? None. And number 3 is regarding our Housing Accelerator Fund. This is quite a great project we have here in the city. And just a quick background, the Housing Accelerator Fund is a partnership with the federal government to help address the housing crisis across the country. The city has received 3 eligible applications from interested parties to participating in this fund. Applicants who meet eligibility requirements can raise up to $10,000, maximum for total project costs. And I'm just going through this there now. We received 3. And this one second here now. And the committee recommends awarding the Housing Accelerator Fund an amount of $10,000 to each of the following properties on receiving occupancy permits for 42 Lancaster, 51 Roosevelt, and 18 Sunrise Avenue. And I so move.
Thank you both again. Any questions, council? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? And if you are opposed, motion carried.
Thank you. And we have 3 here regarding professional development. And I mentioned there in previous meetings, our professional training is so good for our staff and for council. We go out, we take a chance to take a look what others are doing and learning from them. And the first one is for our Director of Public Works to attend the 2026 Atlantic Heavy Equipment Show from March 26th to the 27th. And that is held in Moncton, New Brunswick, and I so move.
Moved and seconded by Councilors Antle and Locke. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Maybe we can get this microphone fixed.
You gotta push on.
You gotta push the button, Mr. Director. Right, so it's professional development and training request, again, for our Director of Public Works. And this is, has to do with the Canadian Public Works Association. And this is held in Newfoundland in the spring 2026 from May 6th to May 8th. And I so move.
Moved and seconded by Councilors Antle and Locke. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And number 6, it's another professional professional development and training request for our Director of Corporate Services for Labor Arbitration. And this is always something that we can always use more of and get better at. And this here is for Director of Corporate Services for June 6th to 19th. And this is in Kingston, Ontario. And I so move.
Once again, moved by Councilor Antle and second by Councilor Locke. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried as well.
And you're going to train the council. We're going to do professional development to train the council how to use the microphones in council chambers.
One.
Just one, anyhow. Just one. It's true. Counselor in training. We'll get it done eventually. All right. This has to do with our council professional development policy, our travel policy for council. It's on our webpage, and this too helps councillors to travel around the country, to learn how other councils do their work, how other departments, and it helps us all become better and better councillors. You can look at this development package, and it's nothing really changed from year to year to year. The only thing we can do in this here is use a FCM. It's held every year in different provinces across Canada, and it's highly recommended that each councillor attend these meetings because that's where we become better at this. And When you review this, the committee recommends approval of the City Council Professional Development, and I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Antle and seconded by Councillor Locke. And I think there's two things. M&L travel becomes city travel as opposed to PD, because I think we do a lot of good business on behalf of the city there. And I think there's a refreshment of the cap that leads us to the point where, because of inflation since COVID, it had to be raised. That's the cap for professional development. So just to be clear exactly what we're doing here. But to Councillor Antle's point, it's on our website. Our policy is clear. And that's why it's here at this table early in the new year. Any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to call the question then. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Carried.
That's everything for corporate services, Your Worship. Thank you.
Okay, microphone's off. We're going to move now to the Public Works lead, and that is Councillor Fry.
Thank you, Your Worship. We just have a couple of for information items on our agenda this evening. So the first is it's a public works status report. So I'll let you know what our crews have been up to. The first is our roads division, and winter shifts are underway, and snow clearing, snow removal, and ice control as required. And they've been kind of busy of late, hey? More to come, I hear. Our parks division, the trail maintenance and grooming is ongoing, and of course, preparation for the Frosty Festival. It's not just our recreation staff that work hard during Frosty. Our public works team put an awful lot of time in that as well in preparation. For our fleet division, we have ongoing service and maintenance. And in our UTM division, of course, we always have general calls and water and sewer repairs, leak detection, lift station inspections and maintenance. And you can see in your kit here that the water levels at Babel's Big Pond as of February the 3rd are quite healthy. And that's it for our report, Your Worship.
Well delivered. Over to you, Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. Just looking at the Babel's Big Pond levels, as Councillor Fry indicated, they are healthy. But I was struck by the fact that I can't tell the exact levels, but it's over a foot. So it's probably 14 to 16 inches drop over the last reporting period. And we have had significant precipitation over that time. So I'm just wondering if I can ask Director Dolimont what might have precipitated, no pun intended, what contributed to such a significant drop in water levels at Babel's Big Pond?
Good question. Over to you, Director Dolimont.
Thank you, Councillor Locke. That's a great question. So that significant drop in water levels at Babel's Big Pond is directly related to there's a Newfoundland Power that controls a dam that is on that waterway. So as a result of the power interruptions that we experienced at Bay d'Espoir earlier in January, Newfoundland Power opened up the dam to compensate for some power loss for that generating station in Bay d'Espoir, and that is a direct result as the drop in water.
Thank you, Director. Interesting. And I know these water rights have been in place. It was probably 16 years ago, 17 years ago. A resident raised this to me, actually, when I was speaking with them at their door, and I had no idea that that Newfoundland Power or Hydro had that capability. But I just find it intriguing that water generation is hooked up to our water reservoir. And in the times of climate change, and we saw the drought that we had last year during our summertime, I'm just wondering, maybe when we go to our next meeting, Councillor Rice, we can inquire as to maybe there's some suggestions here that maybe they look for alternative sources or something else. I'd like to see what the long-term plans are. But thank you, Director. I appreciate that. And thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, I think Babel's Big Pond is the alternative source in an emergency. So you have to, I guess you could debate, was that an emergency? But obviously it was a conscious decision. Was it shared by with the regional customers of the Babel's Big Pond, or was the decision made by St. John's CAO?
Honestly, I can't contemplate where the decision was made, but we can certainly take it away and get some clarification.
Appreciate it. That was an FYI report. We're done. We're going to move over now to Recreation, Community Safety. Deputy Mayor Kiley.
Thank you, Worship. I just have one, we just have one item for the consideration of the public and council, and it's in relation to the Easter Day Camp registration. So Easter Day Camp registration obviously is in the works, and the registration dates for 2026 through our online registration system, which again you can do from any device you may have, will take place on the following dates. February 17th, that will be registration for Mount Pearl residents, and that'll be open at 5 p.m. And then the following February 19th, I should say, open registration for non-residents will open at 5 p.m. And just for your information, all Mount Pearl residents do need to submit a proof of residency before the registration date. So this must be verified in our system prior to February 17th to ensure eligibility for early registration. Just be aware of those key items, because of course how our programs are operated, we give, of course, preference to our Mount Pearl residents, and then any other items or any other seats that are available, of course, it's open to any other individuals from other communities surrounding us. And that is it for me. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. Looking at the agenda, I think it's Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Worship. Our our first one, the engineering part, is our capital works update. So this one is for information purposes only. Farrell Drive pump house upgrade, construction is ongoing, is 10% complete. 2025 concrete works, construction is 90% complete. Work to resume in the spring of 2026. White Boulevard upgrades, construction is 60% complete. Work to resume in spring of 2026. Our sewage lift station, Mount Carson Avenue, construction is ongoing, 90% complete. And on Jackman Drive, upgrades, construction to begin the spring of 2026. And our water tower access road, construction to resume at first quarter of 2026, weather permitting. On our storage, water storage tank, our design bill, construction to start this month of February 2026, weather permitting. And Glencoe culvert replacement, construction is 95% complete. Final tidy up in the spring of 2026. Our T-Rail railway crossing as well is 50% complete, and completion expected in the spring of 2026, weather dependent as well. Our next one we have is our our building permit listing number 2. So just as a little point of information on this one, we've already given approval for our Director of Engineering to approve our listings, our permit listings, and our occupancy permit listings. So under our building permit listings is for, and this is commercial and residential, for information purposes only. We have 27 items in our kit under our commercial and residential. Our civic addresses are all posted there. It's great to see some major renovations on the go on some of our streets. One I'll point out is our Farrell Drive area. It's great to see that. So I just wanted that point of information on that one. Under our occupancy permit listing, we have 8 items here in our kit. You can read them as you feel free to. And also, it's nice to see our occupancy permit listing being listed from January the 1st until January the 29th. And that's it for our report, Your Worship. Thank you.
Any questions? All right, planning and development, I believe that's Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. The first one here has to do with a request from number 46 Dundee Avenue, C-Force Technologies. They got a request to purchase a piece of city-owned land at 46 Dundee Avenue. And when we looked at it, C-Force Technologies came in and indicated that when they did a title search, they discovered there's a small sliver of land up there on their what has been incorporated into their business operations, It's about 723 square meters. It includes a 6-meter stormwater easement. It's zoned industrial light, and it appears in the city's geographical information system as a part of 46 Dundee Avenue, despite no registered transfer. So we did some research, and we found that over the years, the city has conveyed several pieces or parcels of land to Seaforest, including 3 industrial lots that form the current site and an additional strip providing access to Clyde Avenue. This strip that they're requesting to purchase right now was inadvertently excluded from the former transactions and has remained an unassigned parcel. But when we looked at this strip of land, as I said, it's a narrow strip, about 780 square feet or 723 square meters. It's encumbered by, as I just said, a 6-meter storm sewer easement. It doesn't have independent access or development potential, so it has no practical use or value to the city. And further research indicated that discussions were held in 2009, 2010 with Seaforest and the city to actually sell the land to Seaforest, but our records don't indicate why this transaction wasn't carried through to fruition. It was never completed. And just some further context here, in the past, the city required a portion of some of Seaforest's land on Glencoe Road, and the city offered to purchase that land from Seaforest for a value of $17,000, but they declined that and instead transferred the land for $1 to the city in the interest of maintaining a cooperative and healthy working relationship with the city and their company. So just again, further information, this is a land transaction and it's not subject to procurement requirements. So again, they are requesting that they purchase it. I asked Councillor Batt the market value for this land, but as I said, given the fact that it's encumbered, it's sort of orphaned land, it's a small sliver of land, it doesn't have any direct street access. If there was a market value put on it, it might be less than $15,000, but again, it's of no practical use to the city. So our committee, or the committee, is recommending that we support the request from Seaforest and to sell the land for the minimum consideration of $1, and I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Locke, and thank you, second by Deputy Mayor Kiley. This is just a land transfer to tidy up a bit of some of the land to the survey, to the use of the land. So, any questions, council? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. The second item for our report is the development permit listing for January the 1st of 2026 to February the 5th of 2026. And you can see there that it's for the information of council and residents, and there are 8 listed there. You can see them in the kit, and if you have any questions, we'll certainly any questions you might have. If not, that's it for our report. I thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That means we're on to new business, and tonight's roundtable will begin with Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Worship. 2 from me. First one is, as we all know, we're right in the middle of Frosty Festival. So we've been busy, all council and a lot of staff have been attending a lot of the events this week. I just wanted to take a second to take a big time to say a big shout out to our staff that organized all the events, put some time in it. I mean, this just shouldn't happen within the week that we were doing it, or 10 days, but it takes a lot of planning, organizing, and a lot of phone calls. So I just want to acknowledge Jennifer Jones here today and ask her if she'll pass along a big thank you to the staff. Much appreciated. It's very, I know sometimes it's difficult to try to make the right decisions and move forward. And I know those phone calls and the time spent, because I've had conversations with Alison and Kyle in the last number of 5 or 6 days and even before that. But it takes time, but it's much appreciated, the effort gone into it. And also, while I'm on that note, I just want to say it would never happen without our volunteers as well. The volunteers is a very integral part of our Frosty Festival. And I just want to say a big shout out to them as well. The second one I have is I want to speak on our Public Works Department and what they've been doing, I guess, because we've, when we get a big amount of snowfall like we had a couple of weeks ago, it takes a lot of time. I've had a few calls from residents there's always complaints, but you always, explain to the resident that makes the phone call why it's taking so long to do the side streets, sidewalks, cul-de-sacs, moving all the snow out. It takes time to get that done. We had, roughly between 60 to 70 centimeters in those two snowfalls. I had this conversation with Director Dalamont. It takes a lot of time organizing it, and also I always say to residents, if you got a concern or reach out to either the staff or a council member, and we'll try to help you out as much as we can. I also want to, while I'm on the Public Works staff, I want to say a big shout out to the Public Works staff. We had some criminal activity, I call it, in the community over the last week and a half or so. We had, over in my subdivision area, we had two people come in and stole 3 snow blowers in our Brookhaven subdivision area between, I guess, 3:30 and 4:30 a.m. Public Works staff that were on at the snow clearing spotted the people that took the blowers. They reported to the RNC, and the municipal enforcement got involved. And as far as I know, the 3 people got the snow blowers back. So I want to say a big thank you to. So we're talking about our safety and our reporting, especially around the community. If we see something, report it. This is why it's so important to report it, because it means somebody getting the snowblower back who had it stolen right out of their driveway. So when we talk about safety in the community, it's our job, not only the RNC and our municipal enforcement, but it's also all of our responsibility around the community to report stuff that you feel it's suspicious and you think it's something that's happening that you don't think is right. So very important. So kudos to the Public Works snow clearing crew for making that happen. Thanks, Director Malamut, and pass it along to the crew. I'm sure you did before. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rice, and well said. Best staff. Best staff. Over to you, Councillor Lane, please.
Thank you. Just a couple of items for me. Firstly, we had a big birthday this past weekend for 2 of our councillors, Councillor Locke and Councillor Angel. So a big happy birthday wishes for you both. Secondly, I also just had a snow clearing, parking ban, and road safety reminder. So residents are reminded that snow clearing operations are ongoing throughout the city. To ensure plows and crews can work safely and efficiently, all motorists must comply with the snow clearing regulations and the active parking ban. Vehicles parked on streets during the parking ban hours of 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. may obstruct snow clearing removal and may be ticketed or towed. Please visit the city's website for regulation details. Motorists are also advised to use extra caution while driving, as high snowbanks can significantly reduce visibility at intersections, crosswalks, driveways, and along roadways. Please slow down, watch carefully for pedestrians, and be prepared to stop, especially in residential areas and near schools, sidewalks, and bus stops. Pedestrians are encouraged to remain visible and exercise caution when crossing streets, particularly where snowbanks may limit sight lines. Your cooperation helps keep roads clear, improve safety for everyone, and allows snow clearing crews to do their work efficiently. Thank you for your patience and understanding. And that's a very important one this time of year. And I did see that there's more snow possibly in the forecast. So this may, in fact, be going on for a while yet. Lastly, I just wanted to bring some attention to the fundraiser that the Vera Berlin Society is doing. So the Vera Berlin Society is a not-for-profit charitable organization, and it's dedicated to serving individuals with intellectual disabilities. And this is just an absolutely amazing organization. As an IRT teacher, I have several students that have worked with the Vera Berlin Society, and it certainly has enriched their lives. So they're having their fundraiser called Share the Care. It's a 50-50 draw. And all proceeds go towards helping individuals living with intellectual disabilities thrive in our community. And the tickets can be purchased online on the veraberlinsociety.ca, and the tickets are all digital. I've already got mine, so I encourage residents to also share their support to the Vera Berlin Society so they continue doing such great work for people in our community. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you so much. Over to you, Councillor Fry.
Well, I only had one item for tonight, and that was about the Girl Guides Thinking Day and the campfire that they're having on February 22nd. So that I don't really have anything else for this evening. Thank you.
I hope they get no snow and they get great weather. I think it would be awesome to have a source of heat. Notice I'm just kind of shying away from the fire part. What a little celebration would be on World Thinking Day, hey? Just to sit back in your chair, maybe reflect as you see the flames or whatever bouncing around. You know what it's like when you're at a campfire. And to do it in February, bring it on.
Well, Girl Guides are all about friendship, so it's a nice way to get out and spend some time with some friends. So I encourage everybody to go. I mean, this is a big deal for them, and as you can see, I mean, they were so excited about it, and they talked about it much better than I could. But I look forward to it next Sunday.
You spoke well. All right, over to you, Councillor Locke.
I don't have anything to bring forth, but I was reflecting as Councillor Rice was speaking about all the great events at Frosty. So I'll just share a little story at the Frosty's birthday party Saturday. My youngest grandchild, Benjamin, was up, sat in the stands with his nanny. He was having a little munch, had his feet up on the back of the chair, and he was led back, and he just had this contented look on his face, and he said to my wife, he said, "Nanny, everybody here is so happy." And Nanny said, "Well, that's what Frosty's birthday is all about." He said, "I'm glad everyone is so happy." So that to me speaks to the success of our festival, to Ms. Jones and all of her staff and workers, that it's making a difference. It's given the seniors last night at the cards and at the afternoon tea. It gives them a nice opportunity to get out, break up the winter, which is what the Frosty Festival is all about. That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Good stuff. He had Hawkins cheesies too. I think he was pretty happy about that, right? Oh my, over to you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. Loving all the good news stories that we're sharing today, and I have some exciting news to share as well on behalf of our Recreation Division. Beginning February 10th, we're going to be launching a pilot series of swim sessions, and they're designed to create safe, welcoming, and affirming spaces for community members to enjoy the pool comfortably and while fostering a sense of belonging. It's only been a week since we've launched a community and wellness plan, and we are already looking at the holistic and collaborative ways in which we can address some of the issues we see around safety. And one of them is really truly understanding the value of belonging and inclusion. And it's so interesting because there is not going to be one silver bullet to address the issue of safety, but it certainly will come. It certainly will come when you see some of these initiatives. And this is a great one because this includes public works and the installation of some privacy screenings. It includes recreation, and it also includes our diversity team as well. So just to give a few description details, but I strongly encourage you to go to our website with all the dates and times that these are available. But just to give you a little kind of overview, there will be an 2S LGBTQIA plus community swim, and that'll be open to all members from this community, including transgendered, non-binary, gender diverse, and two-spirited individuals. And we welcome everyone across the full spectrum of sexual orientations and gender identities. We also will be launching a women and girls swim, and that's for anyone designated, is a swim designated for specifically women and girls who prefer to swim in a female environment and dedicated to a time that provides supportive, respectful setting. And all women and girls are welcome in seeking this type of safe and inclusive space. And then finally, we have a women and girls cultural and religious modesty swim. And that swim is designed for women and girls who prefer to or require a culturally affirming environment that respects modesty and practices. So again, this is just an excellent example of when we address violence and when we understand the causes, it's holistic, it's complex, and it's going to require everyone. That includes recreation, public works, collaboration, and the inclusion of all members of our community. Thank you, Your Worship.
No, thank you. And that began today, February 10th.
It did indeed. That's right.
So we've hit the ground running. I love the spirit here in the city of Mount Pearl. We announced the city community well-being plan and safety plan. It wasn't just a one-day wonder. We are working together, supporting each other and our community through partnerships, and also making sure that everybody's well-being is front and center. So Congratulations, everybody. All right, the finale over to you, Councillor Antle, please.
And I'll even turn on my microphone. I only got good news, so I'll just share some good news. It's compliment, almost as good as Councillor Rice. Compliments to our staff. I think I'm on the trail daily. You know, not many times I don't be on our trails. And the past week and a half or so, all I'm getting is compliments. I mentioned the CAO right out today. People, because of that article in the Pearl magazine regarding our salting our trails, I think the residents I met, because they recognized me, they said to me, Bill, do not salt our trails. Our staff are doing such a good job on our trails with the grooming. All I get here is compliments. Our trails are fabulous. It's easy to access. And I walked around Powers Pond. I talked to one lady there and I said, you know, we were concerned about the ice around the trails at Christmas time. And she right away, do not salt our trails. And you couldn't stress it enough. Don't stress. You can wear these cleats and get around the trails. The trails are perfect just the way they are. And I told them I'd share this with our council colleagues. And as our trails are so good, recently, if you get a chance down on the Waterford River, there's a sea otter. It must be 4 feet long. It's a fair-sized sea otter. If you go down on 4th Avenue on the trail on a footbridge, most times the sea otter is basking on the sun on the banks. He's not hurting anybody, but he's enjoying Mount Pearl. And, you know, I asked him would he vote for Bill, but he's not interested. But anyhow, he's moving around. He's moving around. So anyhow, what a great city and great work for our great staff. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Councillor Antle. You know, I think there's a tremendous event tomorrow night sponsored by the Canettes. Battle of the Brains. So I have a question, and it's not for you, members of council, but a team name. I wanted to ask our CAO, because I understand I'll say some of the people in this room are forming a city staff team, a committee of the whole team. So I just wanted to ask what the team name is, please, so we'll know who we're competing with.
I cannot share a creative brief with you on the team name, but I will tell you that we've just officially entered our name as the Municipal Intelligence Unit.
Would you have any recommendations, please, for a council team?
I will share our runners-up. The Mount Pearl Curls was one. The Permit Patrol might have been another. So listen, we are happy to help, but it's okay. There can only be one winner. Good luck to all.
The Taco Bells, maybe? Maybe not. All right, I'm going to wrap things up on that note and on motion of Deputy Mayor Kiley and second by Councillor Rice.